Hey everyone, and welcome to Theories and Thrones, the place where you can cry and scream about everything that happened in the Battle of Winterfell, also known as episode 803 of Game of Thrones. I'm Leanne Aguilera from Entertainment Tonight.
And I'm Mike Rougeau from GameSpot. Before we get started, of course, you shouldn't be here until you have watched the episode because we are getting into all the spoilers.
Spoilers! Spoiler alert! We're going to keep telling you this every week. Just like we're going to keep telling you about the fact that we want to know your thoughts about what the hell went down in last night's episode, The Long Night. We're already starting to getting so many comments. Malik and Emma, we see you.
Yeah, so start sending us your comments about Arya's big moment and whatever else you want to talk about.
Plus, we've got an exclusive round of interviews with the Game of Thrones actors who perished in this episode, spilling behind-the-scenes secrets about what it was like to film their final scenes in the Battle of Winterfell. But first, real quick, Mike, what did you think of this episode?
I hated it. I was kind of lukewarm to positive on the last two episodes because it was all building to this, but I am so incredibly disappointed with this episode. And I know that some people liked it, and I didn't, like, deep in my bones, I'm disappointed. This episode was written by David and Dan, you know, the showrunners of the entire show. And to me, it feels like they have missed the point of the whole series. Like, the running theme for me throughout the books, throughout the show, has always been that the battle for the throne doesn't actually matter. It's this petty squabble between people who don't see the bigger picture. The apocalypse is coming, and everybody is blind to it, right? They're ignoring it. It's global warming, and the Starks and the Lannisters are Democrats and Republicans, and they're ignoring what actually matters. And last night, Arya solved the apocalypse, and it's just over, and it amounted to nothing. And now we have 3 episodes left, and they're just back to their petty squabbles. Everyone in the episode acted so dumb. They won by dumb luck. The show ignored all the groundwork, all the clues and the foreshadowing that's been building up for years. And for what? It was like a straightforward battle with a big stupid bad guy, no payoff, no catharsis, and no actual well-earned twists.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm honestly upset. What did you think?
Okay, so remember how last week it took me 3 times of viewing the episode to like it.
Last night I was thinking, is she going to watch this episode 3 times?
No, I watched it twice, but it's the opposite effect. The more I watch this episode, the more I think about this episode, the more upset I am. Yeah. When I was watching it, it was heart-pounding and enthralling, and I couldn't believe what was happening, and all these twists and all the mini cliffhangers that they were leaving us on were amazing. And then when the big Arya moment happened, I was like, oh my God!
I mean, it was shocking.
It was shocking. Yeah. And then afterwards I was just like, why did they do that? There were some amazing things. The dragon battle was gorgeous.
Yeah, there were a lot of the parts that we could see were beautiful.
Yeah, the parts of the episode that were well lit were beautiful. But let's continue this conversation because let's kick things off with the biggest question of every Game of Thrones episode, which is who died? Who died? We can finally answer this one.
Yeah, we finally have something to talk about. We have a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about. Let's kick it off with our first death.
Yeah.
Who matters? Sorry, Dothraki. Kicking us off with Edison.
We'll talk about that later.
With Edison. Ed died.
Yeah, Dollars Ed is gone. I feel like that was kind of a cheap one to start with because he's very much like a C-tier character.
I agree.
At best, and I think that was a kind of disappointing running theme throughout the episode, is that really only until the very end, only B and C tier characters died. Like, did you care about Ed?
No, and especially because, like, I'm sorry. Like, in my opinion, like, I know Sam's a great guy. He should have not been on the battlefield. Yeah. And as soon as Ed saved him, and then I was like, oh, he saved Sam. He's about to die. Like,
for sure, as soon as it happened, it's just like, oh, well, you're dead now.
You're going to die.
And that's it.
I mean,
okay, but moving on, though.
Yes.
Lyanna Mormont.
Oh, man. For such a pint-sized girl to get such a big screen death was so exciting for me.
She had the best death in the whole episode. She had
the best death in the episode.
She killed a zombie giant.
Let's talk about that. Let's break it down. We have the scene right now. She comes in, little guns ablazing with her little spear.
Well, she gets
knocked away as soon as she's in there. I thought she was dead right away, and I was like, "There's no way that's how they would do her dirty."
And it's very book Game of Thrones.
Look at her charging at the giant. He picks her up. He's crushing her to death, and at the last second, she gets in the final kill.
Chunk.
And I thought it was just absolutely amazing. It was really sad, though, to see that giant again, because I was really sad when he died the first time around. But
do you think that's 1-1?
Yes, I do.
I think they would have burned 1-1 after the Battle of the Bastards, but I've seen people saying that that's 1-1.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
I don't know, but
it's up for debate.
It was very sad. Moving on to Beric Dondarrion. How do we feel about Beric dying? It's kind of severing the ties of the Lord of Light.
I like Beric better in the books. He's more of a Robin Hood figure.
Oh, I like that.
He's like leads this band of sort of like lawful good outlaws. And in the show, he's kind of just like a Lord of Light fanatic guy.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was very telling in the last episode when he comes up to the Hound and Arya, and they're like, "Please don't start preaching. Like, we don't want to hear it." So I felt very little for his death. And then on top of that, like the fact that his entire purpose, according, like Melisandre said it, like the reason the Lord of Light brought him back so many times is so he could save Arya. And I thought that was kind of cheap because Arya has never needed saving before. Like, she is good, right?
Yeah.
And even if she needed to be saved, the Hound is there anyway.
Was he there? Because I'm pretty sure he was having a panic attack the entire episode, who knows?
He got with it. He caught up eventually.
We're going to pause before we continue on because we've gotten so many great fan comments. Malik says, my favorite moment was when Lyanna Mormont struck the dragon glass dagger into the giant's eye. That was pretty badass.
Yeah,
nice.
It was one of my favorite moments of the episode for sure.
And then Interstarin said, the fact that Sam is still alive is beyond me.
I definitely need to complain about this a little bit because the episode constantly cut back to like Brienne, Sam, Jaime, and Pod, like the same handful of characters just in the yard at Winterfell.
Still alive.
In mortal danger the entire episode.
Yep.
At one point, Sam was lying on the ground, just crying with a pile of zombies on top of him. And it was like the shots that they kept falling back on.
Yeah.
There was no movement, there was no progression, nothing ever changed in their situation, and there were no stakes. None of them died.
Yeah.
I don't understand, like, to me, it was just badly conceived.
But you know who did die?
Yeah, back
Jorah
to
Mormont.
it.
Jorah Mormont.
So we got a comment that I saw from Emma. I'm sad we lost Jorah and Lyanna, but I'm glad they both went out the way they did. Both deaths were very true to their characters.
Agreed.
I fully agree. I mean, is House Mormont done?
House Mormont is done, it seems like. I'm really sad.
I don't know off the top of my head. There must be like a baby somewhere who can take command.
I mean, if Lyanna was the one who was leading it, and she was the, man.
And Jorah told her last episode, you're the future of our house. And she's like, you think I don't know that? And yet there she was in the thick of battle. Yeah.
Do you think it was interesting? I'm personally glad that Jorah did not have final words to Dany. I feel like anything that he would have said would have come off cheesy almost.
Yeah,
I was happy that it looked like he was going to say something and then he didn't.
I think the show gets criticized rightfully a lot of the time for having kind of falling back on cheesy one-liners.
Yeah.
I think Jorah's actions spoke louder than his words in this case. And I thought he had a very good death.
It also kind of made me think back to the episode when, back in Marine, when everyone was coming for Dany. And it reminded me of the fact that Dany, without her dragons, has no combat skills.
She has never had to fight anyone.
She's never had to do anything.
I mean, to her credit, she picked up that sword and she started swinging it. But yeah, if Jorah had not been there, I mean, there were moments when I thought Dany was going to die. Like, I thought that she was fair game for this episode because she's had this arc, and in true Game of Thrones fashion, it would be a good place to cut her short here, to leave us wanting.
Jorah was a good man. You know who else is a good man?
According to Bran,
Greyjoy.
at least.
Yes,
according to Bran. I'm not 100%
Bran.
sure that that's true.
According to Bran, Theon Greyjoy is a good man. But I think what it was is that Bran saw that Theon's death was coming, and he was like, so you're about to die. I don't really fully believe this, but you're a good man.
Why? I don't understand why Bran... Like, Bran knows what's about to happen,
of course.
Presumably.
Does he?
I mean, like, why send Theon to
his death.
Just to his death. Like,
I mean,
go ahead.
But
thanks for the help.
He's like, grab your little spear and look at him charge. There he goes.
What a terrible plan.
And then my favorite part is that the Night King just kind of sidesteps him.
It's so easy for him.
He's gone.
And that's it.
I mean,
you know what I was really hoping for here?
What? There he goes.
Yep. Bye, Theon.
Bye.
I was really hoping for like the Greyjoy words, right? What is dead may never die. For Theon,
as he's running, that would be actually really great.
For Theon to have a moment where he gets up.
But I don't know. They've established like he's home, he's a Stark, but it would have been weird had he then gone to his Grey Worm.
His character arc was complete for sure, but I wanted. It's one of the many things that I wanted to matter.
Yeah.
And it wound up not mattering.
Well, and Random commented and said, Theon's death scene was incredible and beautiful and sad. He dies thinking they've lost. Oh, that's a great point.
That's a really good point.
That's a really great point, Random. The fact that he charged and really thought, like, all right, I'm going to give it my all. We're at the bitter end.
Yeah, he goes out a hero, and I kept thinking of his conversations that he's had with I think with Yara and definitely with Jon over the seasons about he has never been confident in his identity. Is he a Greyjoy or is he a Stark? And Bran's words to him cemented your home.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you're a Stark.
No.
It means that you're home, right?
Yeah. You can die home. You can die peacefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he went out.
Another peaceful death.
Well.
Melisandre, the Red Woman. Let's talk about this.
I don't understand what the point of her was.
She came back to light the swords.
I'm gonna rant more about this later, but it seemed like most of everything she did just wound up not mattering at all.
It mattered in the fact that apparently this was her final battle. This is the moment that the Lord of Light led her to when she saw the battle in the snow. It wasn't with Stannis. It was this moment at Winterfell. She came in, she helped when she could. Real clutch moment, though, when she lit the trenches because nobody else could get to them. Thank you for making it so we could see the episode. I
know, yeah. I saw this reaction a little bit that Mel is the real hero of the episode because she made it so that we could see what was happening.
Loomis. Sorry.
So I guess
wrong franchise.
So I guess that was her point. I thought she died well. It was nice to be reminded that she's like 500 years old or whatever, and for Davos to finally witness that. I don't know what that means.
I don't
know
know
if it'll ever be brought up again.
Well, he already knows that she's got magical powers. He was there for the smoke birth.
That's true. Oh,
one of the things that I love so much is that as she was walking out there, it just really reminded me the power of a good piece of jewelry can really just make a big difference in a woman's life.
Yeah, like it seemed very significant that the light went out. It was kind of a nice, it was a beautiful moment.
I agree. But let's move on from the Red Woman's death and finally talk about the death of the Night King. He died. We have so much to talk about. So I want to move on into our next section, which is talking about the biggest moments of the night with OMG GOT. And we need to talk about the fact that Arya killed the Night King. Thoughts?
I'm still processing this.
Yeah. So Arya won the Battle of Winterfell. And I think that to DB and David's credit, did I see it coming? No. They did a really great job with the bait and switch of all the mini cliffhanger scenes.
That's
to the
fair.
fact that I was worried about Jon with the zombie dragon. I was worried about like how they were going to get to Bran. I had no idea what was going on. And then Arya just jumps out of nowhere.
I mean, to me, Arya being the one who does it is bad. It's actually like a
so that
running.
was we got our little hint of it.
Yeah.
As she was running by, and then she comes in with the cat's paw dagger.
What was she? Was there a trampoline behind him?
I mean, she's sprightly.
Like independent of the way that they actually did it, which was cool. That was foreshadowed when she had
her battle with Brienne.
Yeah,
how
she was
dropped
sparring with
it,
Brienne,
and I thought that was really great.
Yeah. Arya killing the Night. Arya like quietly walking up to the Night King and just stabbing him in the middle of the battle is a running joke in the Game of Thrones fan community. Like all of the speculation, what if it all comes to nothing and Arya just quietly walks up and stabs him like a faceless man.
Yeah.
And they went with that and I can't believe it. Like
what
do you think?
Okay, well, here's my one thing, and we were going to be talking about this later, so let's cue up the scene of creating the White Walker for the very first time. Thank you so much for following along with this prompter. So basically, my real issue with this is that DB and David said in the behind the scenes of the episode that Arya needed to strike the Night King in the exact same spot in his chest where they put the dragon's the dragon's glass.
I thought they were saying in the exact spot that it happened originally,
exactly.
as in the Godswood.
Exactly.
But she hit him in the leg.
No, I thought she hit him in the stomach of her thing. But so
I thought it was in the leg.
I interpreted it as that she needed to put it in the exact same spot where his dragon glass is, and I thought that was wildly unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, how would she even know that?
Would they have said this is where it is? This is where you gotta get him?
I mean,
sorry.
They said in the post episode featurette where they talk about the making of the inside the episode.
Yeah.
They said that they have known that it would be Arya for 3 years, which I don't know if they think that's a good thing, but this series has been going for 23 years.
Yeah.
So it feels like something that they just came up with, and they said they essentially did it because we wouldn't be thinking of Arya in that moment. So basically they just wanted it to be unexpected. But for me, that's not inherently good. Like, it's unexpected because it doesn't build on the foreshadowing, the clues, all the groundwork that's been laid over the course of the entire series just gets thrown away and Arya just stabs him.
It almost like, as predictable as it would have been if Jon had been the one to kill him, it almost felt like this wasn't Arya's battle to end.
When did she ever express that she cared about this at all?
Well, like, she cares for fighting for her family, and she's like the super badass now, but honestly, it just felt like, it felt disingenuous that she was the one to kill him. I don't know. But you guys tell me what you think. Let's see. Augustus said they gave the Night King the Snoke treatment. Solid
right, that's
Star
fair.
Wars
Yeah,
reference.
you think he's the final boss.
Yeah.
And now it's Cersei?
I mean, Patrick said the Night King needed to go. Boring character. Agreed.
That's fair, but what I wanted is for them to make the Night King not boring.
Yeah.
And they had so many opportunities. When we finally started to learn more about the Night King with Bran's visions, it felt like, we learned about how the White Walkers are created.
Yep.
So it felt like they were finally opening up to the backstory. And then this whole season, I've been waiting for the moment. Is it going to be when Bran has that conversation with Tyrion that we never saw? Is it going to be when the Night King walks up to Bran? Are they finally going to have a dialogue, have a conversation where we learn what the White Walkers want? What are they doing?
Apparently, they just wanted to kill Bran because he knows everything.
It's just to kill everyone. It's so boring. It's such like he's just a big, boring bad guy, and there's nothing more to it.
Let's switch over to something that's equally as frustrating, which is the fact that the night is dark. Like, really dark.
Yeah.
Because we could not see anything in this episode. I was watching from a computer because I was working last night. Yes, it was dark, but like...
I was watching on a big TV, and I still couldn't see anything.
It was still really difficult.
We were like putzing with the TV settings, trying to turn the brightness all the way up in the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of jokes on Twitter that, like, the real enemy tonight is HBO's digital compression.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't, like, they hyped up this battle so much, and for at least half of the episode, I legitimately could not read the action. I couldn't tell what was happening.
Yeah.
What are the stakes?
Look at it right now. Like,
Who are these
as
people?
we're seeing
I
all
think
of them,
that's
like, there's Brienne, because she's right there, and then there's Jaime and Grey Worm.
It's hard to shoot a battle at night.
And I get that, and I love that their response was, it's realistic. It's like, you have a show with dragons and direwolves. Oh, we're going to get to that in a little bit.
Do you know what else would be realistic?
Yeah.
If they, like, had a bunch of fires lit. They had 2 tiny bonfires out in front of Winterfell. Just, if you have more fire to fight the enemies that are specifically weak to fire, then we would be able to see 2 birds, 1 stone.
We had fire with the Dothraki, but it burned out real quick.
Right. Oh, my God.
That was sad.
I'm still going to rant about that.
Another letdown was the fact that the crypt is the safest place in Winterfell. The crypt is the safest place in Winterfell.
There was so much foreshadowing that it was so obvious.
Yes.
And then it didn't, like, the real twist is that it didn't matter. No one important died. No interesting.
The fact that Gilly didn't die was baffling to me. But one of the things that you and I were hoping about, one of the things that you and I were hoping would happen was the fact that someone that we knew from the Stark family would come back and would scare the bejesus out of people.
I don't know how they did the crypts without having at least Rickon. Rickon died to, the end of season 6, I think. He's a fresh corpse. Specifically, Jon had him buried in the crypts. He would be up at the top where all the people are, and he is buried with a sword. And it just never mattered.
Yeah.
This episode felt self-contained, as if all of the things that have happened over the past 7 seasons before this just didn't matter, as if the show doesn't trust us to remember these things.
I almost wish it had ended on a cliffhanger. The fact that it wrapped up so neatly, I'm kind of like, I don't trust it.
Yeah, that felt like it should have been the climax of the entire series, and now we're just back to...
Now, before we fully jump into all of your theories and comments, we've got an exclusive interview with a handful of your favorite Game of Thrones stars talking about their final scenes and what it was like to actually film the Battle of Winterfell. Spoiler alert, it's cold.
Yeah.
Take a look.
I think Jorah, probably more than most, has teetered on the edge of his own demise.
So what was your reaction when you read your script for your final episode? What was your initial reaction?
Just that the guys had nailed it, you know. I think throughout really all the episodes, just wonderful writing. It kind of, it's such a hard thing to pull off. I think, the expectations are so high, and I think they just managed all the storylines incredibly well. And it's full of the Thrones mix of the unexpected and the dramatic, and massive set pieces, and extraordinary happenings and things beyond our ken. And it's kind of more of the same, but bigger, better.
I was really happy. Yeah, I was really happy and pleased.
Was there ever a point within Game of Thrones that you thought that you were going to get axed earlier?
Just about the entire, all seasons throughout the entire thing,
Yes, I did get a phone call at one point from the producers, and they said, we want to have a dinner with you. And I was like, and at that point, I think that was sort of the talk was that when you went to dinner with them, they were going to nicely let you go. And it turned out to be a lovely dinner, but I was nervous throughout the whole thing. Yeah. I can't swear in America.
Sure you can. Can I?
But you just did again after you said you couldn't.
No, it's one of the cast favourite questions to Dan and David. Am I surviving into it? And they always say, you just have to wait and see. So, they always toyed with us, made us suffer.
Valar Morghulis.
Valar Duhairis.
How grueling was it for you guys to film all the battles that you had this year?
Well, do you remember the dream that you had? It was really cold, and it went on for like 50 nights, and it was really cold, and we were all in the middle of Northern Ireland, freezing in a place called Toom.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what? It was more. I mean, it was in the dead of Northern Irish winter, right? Which is. I mean, I know, like here in New York, you have them pretty harsh too, but yeah, it was also because of the time thing, because they were night shoots. It's hard to. It's like being constantly jet lagged.
Remember that dream, the recurring dream you had, like about 30 nights in a row?
This must be something in your fantasy.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nightmare.
It was a nightmare.
You've just done too many seasons now.
I have, yeah.
So it's
I
all
just
just
need-
a
I
blur.
It's really cold, but also imagine that it's actually snowing. So like you're cold, all of your like extremities are cold, but then on top of that, like the snow stops, and then suddenly someone shouts in the background like, "Get the fake snow in!" And then someone just piles you with all this chemical snow. Just when you get a bit of respite, you're like, oh, I think that's like a lot of it was like that. It's like you just get like a little wind, and you're like, oh, do you know what? I feel a bit warmer now. And then it's like everything starts up again.
Yeah.
I just need to go on holiday.
Yeah,
Somewhere warm and sunny.
I want to go on holiday.
I want to know what Tormund's recurring dream was.
Seriously. Also, who else is shocked that Grey Worm survived?
Yeah, 100% me. When characters are making plans, we're gonna settle down after this.
We're gonna go away.
Cabin on the beach.
We're gonna go to Nas.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's like the cop who's like retiring next week. Like, you're dead. I can't believe Grey Worm is still alive.
You guys have been sending in so many amazing comments right now. Zayad says, terrible ending. Short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah, I couldn't
appreciate
have said it
it
better myself.
Random says, the most exciting 90 minutes on my screen in my 32 years of Earth. I love that we have mixed reactions.
This episode, I was getting reactions on Twitter,
Yeah.
comments on my review last night. It is genuinely divisive.
Yeah.
And I'm really genuinely happy that people are out there enjoying it.
Yeah. Rama was not enjoying it. They said, ending of this episode is so very disappointing. I mean, all the hype, this was so underwhelming, way to kill the Night King. I mean, when I'm looking back to the comment or to the theory that we highlighted last week
Yes,
about
thank
the
you for
Night
bringing this up.
King flying to King's Landing, not actually being at the Battle of Winterfell, and creating a secondary army of whites going against Cersei and surprising her, that would have been so epic, and we were so convinced that was going to happen, and no, it's not.
A friend of mine was pushing back against my take on Twitter last night and was saying it seems like your complaint is that it didn't go down the way you wanted it to.
Okay.
And I think that is kind of a fair thing to say, but we're not talking about like far out, ridiculous fan fiction
We're not
here.
talking about fan service.
Yeah,
we're talking about what would have been an amazing
We're talking about
action sequence.
the clues and the plot of the entire series paying off. And the reason why I'm so mad that something like that Night King theory or something like that didn't happen is because it's better than what did happen.
Yeah.
It's more surprising.
Yeah.
The clues for it were everywhere.
Yep.
And then on top of that, it better fits with the themes of the series. That Cersei is the one who is ignoring the greater threat. She should pay a price for that. She shouldn't turn out to be right.
Exactly.
It's terrible.
Another theory from El Mustahi said, I think there will be another Night King in the future. No one wonders about where the babies were, or where are they? The babies were turned into the generals, the babies from Craster.
Well, yeah, but there's more. That's been going on for years and years.
Exactly.
Craster giving the babies. So presumably, like the one that we saw turned in season 5, right, would still probably be a baby, I guess. We don't, or a toddler.
But they all got destroyed when the Night King got destroyed, so I don't think that there will be another Night King.
I've seen a lot of people bring the babies up.
Yeah.
But when the Night King dies, everybody that he turned, the Night King is an off switch for the entire army.
Yes.
So I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah. AV9248 said the Night King is basically like a god, a 1,000-year-old god, and can no one shoot dragons from 100 meters, gets killed by a teenager.
Yeah, I think that that's like really a fair criticism. The Night King, he acted dumb.
Yeah.
It was a dumb, obvious trap, and he fell for it hook, line, and sinker. And then a teenage girl, granted a badass teenage girl, but a teenage girl nonetheless, snuck past their entire army, all of his generals, and then jumped onto his back and stabbed. Like, that's really how it ended. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm not happy with this.
Your comments are absolutely crushing it right now, though. Let's see.
Sin says, only a fool fights against Dothrakis in an open field, which I guess is a Robert Baratheon quote. Night King says, hold my beer. Yeah, the way that the Dothraki went out was just unbelievably stupid.
Yeah, I feel badly for them.
What is the battle strategy of sending all of your cavalry against the entire army before you have a visual on them and not supporting them? What did they think was like? That was the catalyst for the rest of the episode, right?
Yeah.
Dany took off because she was so upset. She couldn't stick to the plan anymore because she was upset about what happened to the Dothraki.
I wish they had told us what the plan was supposed to be, though.
What did they? I just don't understand what they think was going to happen.
Yeah.
They sent the Dothraki in one big charge, and everybody just sat there watching those lights go out. There's no strategy there.
Allie says, or Allie, what about the symbols? What about the symbols? You are so right.
I read that I was obviously on Reddit all night because I couldn't sleep.
Fair. Fair.
I read that there was a featurette or an interview or something where David and Dan or maybe Brian Cogman said that the symbols that the White Walkers create, like their art or whatever, is essentially a corruption of the symbolism used by the Children of the Forest. So it's essentially them dunking on the Children of the Forest and just kind of being dicks. And I guess there's, like everything else, there's nothing more to it than that. We get the most shallow possible surface reading of all of the lore that's been built up for 2 decades, and that's it. Like, I want answers on that stuff too, and we're just not going to get it.
Let's see if you can answer Nathan's question.
Sure.
Nathan says, can someone explain the vision that Melisandre and Arya both had before Arya took off?
The vision that they had?
Yeah, I didn't see a vision. But are we referring to the fact that she had told her in the past that she would kill people with many different colored eyes?
Well, they were in that room, right?
Yeah.
The room where they dragged
Great
Beric
Hall.
in. Beric
Yes.
died. The Hound was in there. I guess there was that shot where they were all looking into the fire. Is that when, what did Mel say to... She said, what do we say to the God of Death? Which is the
not
Syria
today.
Pharrell callback, which honestly was a moment that
made me so happy.
Yes, I
that was a moment where I was like, yes.
I was definitely pleased with that moment. I need to rewatch it because if they were, I'm seeing it in my head now, and if they were staring at the fire, they might have seen something.
Yeah, take a look at what Robert said, because you're going to have a lot of thoughts about that.
So Arya is Azor Ahai. That would be awesome. I don't know. And
at this point, is it the princess that was promised?
Yeah, and that's Miss Sandy had that line where it was a mistranslation essentially that the noun was actually gender neutral and it could be prince or princess, and there's been so much speculation, and I think it is very Game of Thrones for a prophecy to never actually have one objective solution or payoff, right? That fits with the series overall. I think it's something that the show is never going to bring up or address ever again. Like Beric and Mel, and they're dead. Like, who's left? Like, the Hound isn't. The Hound, he sees visions or whatever, but he's not gonna bring it up.
Let's talk about the fact that FYI Dancer gave a really great comment and said, what about the Night King and Bran stare down? Where did Bran go when he phased out for a few? Let's talk about the fact that while the whole battle's going on, Bran's like, BRB, gonna go warg into a murder of crows.
I'm gonna go.
I'm just gonna go.
What?
I'm gonna go.
What did he do?
He just was watching. I've
been waiting for, the last thing Bran did was help Arya and Sansa kill Littlefinger.
Yes.
Which was great.
Yes.
And I've been waiting ever since for him to do anything else.
Yes.
And he just
sits there.
He just hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
My theory is that he went to go watch Endgame. Like, he was like, this episode sucks. I'm gonna go see the Avengers do something cool because this is boring.
It was a big weekend for the Starks, man. Let's rapid fire through all the moments. I don't want you guys to think that we completely hated this episode, just a lot of the parts. But I still love Game of Thrones as a whole. I'm just so conflicted right now because now we have 3 episodes left. The Night King storyline is completely wrapped up, and it almost seems like a lot of things wound up not mattering.
Yeah.
We're not going to get a payoff in quite a bit.
So I have some bullet point notes here.
Go, Mike.
I want to start with things that wound up not mattering and will never be paid off in the show.
Okay.
First of all, we touched on this a little bit, but Melisandre's entire story, the prince that was promised, Azor Ahai, Lightbringer, the sword, her season-long vacation to Volantis or wherever, like, what was she doing there? What was the point? Why did she leave only to reappear at Winterfell?
At the right moment.
I mean, she lit the fire, great. She told Arya to go stab the Night King. Arya could have figured that out on her own.
Yeah. Okay,
it seemed like she was pointless. I hate this one. So Jon revealing his identity to Dany at the end of the last episode. Why did they put it there if it was never going to have any effect on the events of this episode?
Yeah.
It felt like this would have been, there were so many opportunities in this episode for Jon to have like a hero moment, like a Targaryen moment, to finally, step into his true identity.
Yeah.
And at the same time prove to Dany, like, she would see it, right? Like, when she's burning the Night King with Dragonfire, imagine Jon walks into the fire and kills the Night King there. It would mirror Dany's survival of Khal Drogo's funeral pyre in the first season, and it would be, to her, it would be proof that he is Aegon Targaryen. It would have been an amazing moment that paid off something from 7 seasons ago, so of course they couldn't do it.
I'm going to interject right now. Where's Ghost?
Yeah.
Where's Ghost?
Where's Ghost? I mean, I have this in my list. Where's
Ghost? I'm so mad right now. We got him for a brief second in episode 2. He charged into battle, and we never saw him again. Are you kidding me? First of all, why was he not by Jon's side? Why would you send him out with the Dothraki? Why wasn't he next to Ed, who he knows from the Night's Watch?
Why wasn't he fighting?
Why wasn't he within Winterfell? Why wasn't he with Sansa in the crypts? Why?
Imagine Jon is facing down undead Viserion, and instead of just standing there slack-jawed and getting lucky that Arya happened to kill the Night King at that moment, Ghost comes in, distracts Viserion long enough for Jon to stab him with the Valyrian
and then
steel.
At least give Ghost a good death.
Give Ghost something to do. Give Jon something to do besides just stare.
I thought Ghost was going to go off into the forest and go get Nymeria and her pack and come in and be a nice little cavalry. It would have been really far-fetched, but I would have liked it.
I mean, but that would be payoff. Again,
I'm really upset.
I said this last night, but I'm trying to imagine a decade ago when I was reading the books for the first time, if a time traveler from this terrible dark future had come up to me and whispered in my ear, the direwolves don't matter, actually, I would have called him a liar.
Yeah.
It seems impossible that something that was so important in the books, such an integral part of the story, has just been completely sidelined because of CG budget or whatever. It's beyond infuriating.
Give me your last few points.
Yeah. How about the I mean, we talked about the White Walkers, but how about the fact that they didn't even fight anyone in this episode? Like, the White Walkers themselves. There was no fighting. They just walked through. They just had slow motion walks that I've seen turned into some very good GIFs.
They were kind of
They never fought. There was no battles with the White Walkers.
I mean, we've been ranting.
I could keep going, but I will stop.
Yes, we've been ranting. You guys have been sending us some amazing comments.
Ooh, yeah,
We're going to end it for right now.
There's one more comment that I want to read.
Okay.
Wright says they showed how Arya could get past the White Walkers in the library.
Okay.
Yes, Arya is sneaky.
She's very
Those
sneaky.
Those were dumb zombies.
I was so...
Those were not White Walkers. Those were whites.
Yes.
They're different.
Yes, I was bummed that scene that we were waiting to see from the trailer of Arya looking so panicked, of Arya having her whole identity shaken, was just running from these whites.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Rickon come back to life. It wasn't someone that she knew and loved chasing after her, because that would have been really amazing. It was just her using her amazing skills, creeping around a library.
Right, but doing that doesn't prove that she can walk. Like, literally, the Night King is in the Godswood. His generals are arrayed around them.
Yeah.
And she just slipped through. That doesn't. Those things are not equal to me.
Yeah, I agree. But we're going to end it right here.
Let's cut it off before I
Yeah.
have an aneurysm.
Thank you all so much for submitting your comments and for tuning in today. And be sure to join us for Theories and Thrones every Monday morning at 8 a.m. West Coast, 11 a.m. East Coast for the next 3 episodes.
3 more, and it'll be over, and I think I'll be relieved at that point. We're going to be breaking down every episode. We're always going to include your comments, your thoughts, and your theories.
Yes, and you can always tweet us your thoughts anytime you'd like. We will respond. Thank you again so much for watching Theories and Thrones, and Mike and I will see you next time. Maybe we'll have nicer things to say.
Hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.